Hello YouTube, it's Ryan here with HobbiesofaMan once again, and today I'm doing a review video for a movie from my car because it's Tuesday today, which means movie tickets are half off, and I decided to come watch a few movies that I've been wanting to check out for a while. So I just got out of watching The Wild Robot, which is a wonderful animated movie. It's by DreamWorks, so you know, if you like Shrek, if you like How to Train Your Dragon and stuff like that, you'll like this. And it was a really awesome movie. I really loved it. I was a bit surprised that there were so many people in the theater because I went to like a midday show like at noon, and I assumed that there would be no one at the theater because that's usually the case. But I forgot to take into account children, which is me being stupid, right? But it was packed, which is a rare occurrence here at the movie theater that I usually go to. And the movie was awesome. So, like I said, it's made by DreamWorks. It's based on a book, I think, by the author is named Peter Brown, and I think the book is exactly the same title. It's The Wild Robot, and this story is really great. It's a little bit like WALL-E. It's a little bit kind of similar to the latest Ultraman movie, right? Ultraman Rising. It's about this robot character who is kind of initially lost. She wakes up one day randomly and she starts executing her programming, which means that she has to ask for help or ask people if they need help until someone answers her, and then she will complete their task. The thing is that this island that she ended up in is deserted. There's no one except animals on the island, and so what happens is that she goes into lockdown mode and she decides to learn the animal language, and so she eventually manages to figure out a way to communicate with these animals, and then she executes her program again. Initially, all of the animals dislike her, they're afraid of her, and then a big, massive thunderstorm comes around, and it ruins the forest, and it affects her a lot, and she ends up finding this little runt of the litter, gosling, or little goose, and she decides to raise it. And that becomes her main task after she manages to finagle herself into getting it, right? And so from there, the story is about motherhood. It's about raising a child, and it's about helping that child become who they're meant to be. And broadly speaking, it's a pretty simple movie. There's a pretty simple premise, but the execution was phenomenal. I really loved it. I thought it was so fun. And there was a lot of interesting things that happened throughout the movie. I would say that the beginning felt a bit too long, and then some of the middle stuff there where the characters kind of finally grow up, right? And the baby Gosling kind of goes through teenagehood, and then eventually becomes like basically does the equivalent of going off to college. I felt that portion of the story was a bit too quick, but that's because there's this overarching narrative that is like the robot also returning home that needed to be worked in, right? And so some of the middle parts of what I would consider the main story kind of had to be moved around and go a bit too quickly for my taste, right? Overall, the movie was about an hour and 40 minutes long, which is pretty good. It was a very well-paced movie, but for my taste, I feel like it could have been a bit longer in some areas, right? Your mileage may vary there. You might disagree with me. It's fine if you do. It's all a preference thing. But overall, I really liked this. I think the animation was great. It almost had this kind of it reminded me a little bit of the League of Legends show. What's it called? Arcane, where it almost felt like it was like a paintbrush, right? But it definitely did have that like 3D CGI animation behind it, right? And it looked a lot like other DreamWorks movies, and it was phenomenal. I really loved it. So I'm trying to think of other things that I could say about it. I mean, Lupita Nyong'o is the voice for the robot called Roz. She has like a number designation, but that's too long, so they just get rid of it. And she did amazing voice work. I really believed it. It wasn't like immensely mechanical. It was only mechanical enough that you believed it was a robot. The rest of the voice acting cast was really awesome, actually. It was so it was Ross, and then the Gosling character, I don't know who voiced him, but there was a few other characters that were pretty important, right? So there was Fink the Fox, and he was apparently voiced by what's his name? Pedro Pascal. I did not recognize his voice at all. I think he did a really good job at kind of hiding that it was him. He did a really good job voice acting, and I think that that's really, really good. There was this bear character that was voiced by Mark Hamill. You can't really tell either, but you know, after you know that it's him, you realize that it is him voice acting that. Like, that was pretty well done. And there's a few other, you know, famous people and famous comedians that lent their voice for some of these characters, but it was, broadly speaking, very well done. I think I had no complaints about the voice acting at all. And I found the animation to be really fluid and enjoyable and really beautiful. And I thought that the story was great. I mean, yes, it's simple. Yes, it's kind of basic, but it was so well handled that there really is no reason to not enjoy it. And I think that it's really, really good. It has a lot of broad appeal, right? Because you can be a child and enjoy it because there's a lot of fun stuff happening on screen. You can be an adult and enjoy it because it reminds you of growing up. Or you can be a mother or a father or, you know, some other, you know, grandmother, whatever. You can, basically, this movie applies to everyone because everyone has either been a child or has had a child. You know, broadly speaking. And so it is fundamentally a very general audiences, kind of like everyone can watch this and everyone can enjoy this kind of movie. And, you know, even if I felt some of the scenes were a bit childish, the whole thing was so well done. Like, it really was a great, wonderful movie. And I think I would put it up there with Ultraman Rising as one of my favorite movies of the year at this point, right? It's definitely like top 3 you know, animated movies of the year so far as I can remember. Let me think. There's Ultraman Rising, there was this one, Wild Robot, there was the Spy Family movie, there was Transformers 1, and I would say that, you know, the 3 sci-fi movies that I watched would beat out Spy Family. I'm trying to remember if there was any other ones that I watched this month, that I watched this year. I think there was one, but I can't remember. But yeah, I would say that this is probably the second best animated movie that I've seen this year. Ultraman Rising being number 1, Wild Robot being number 2, and then Transformers 1, right? And I think that's just because I like the animation in this one a bit better than I liked the one in Transformers 1. And I think that, broadly speaking, even though both stories have a pretty similar kind of like general audiences kind of idea, right? Like, where Transformers 1 is more or less like a dystopian YA type series, or like a basic plot line, right? Teenagers realizing that their life is a lie, trying to overthrow their government, and living in this kind of dystopian world. The Wild Robot being such a like basic like transition of life and transition through your growth and your development as an individual. I feel like that is significantly more appealing in general to me and to others, right? So I would say that the Wild Robot is better than Transformers 1, which kind of sucks a little bit because they are basically competing, properly between each other. And so that's a bit sad because, one of them will win, and it's for sure going to be the Wild Robot, just because I think it has a bit more viability to it, right? It's not like it's a IP that has already kind of overstayed its welcome, right? So, those are my thoughts on the Wild Robot. It was a bit kind of weird all over the place, but hopefully there was a nice through line that you could follow here. So, yeah, those are my thoughts on Wild Robot. I'll have this video out tomorrow, probably. Today's Tuesday, so yeah, it should come out the Wednesday after my check-in video. And hopefully you guys enjoy it. I will also have a My Hero Academia review soon, because that's the other movie that I'm watching after this. So, yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you guys so much for watching, and see you guys later.